Hi, it's Boulder Lone Ranger Uncut, and today we're going to be talking about the $8,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers. This is also known as the American Recovery Act, and this is not to be confused with the credit that was issued last year. This credit last year was between April and December of 2008, and it would be claimed over a long period of time. The new tax credit, the $8,000 tax credit, will be credited immediately on your 2009 tax return, or if you want, you can claim it on your 2008 tax return if you filed your taxes in time and had actually completed the purchase of the home, or if you wish, you can file an amended return or file a tax extension if you know you're going to close in time in order to complete your taxes on time for the extension deadlines. The latest would be October for that. So again, this is an $8,000 tax credit, or for a married couple filing individually, filing separately, it would be $4,000 apiece for a total of $8,000. Now I have got some great questions on this particular tax credit, which is why we're doing an Uncut. A great question actually occurred today. I met a couple that was not married, but working together to buy a home, and one of them qualified as a first-time home buyer. Let me step back and explain what that means. You can have owned a home before in order to be a first-time home buyer, but it needs to be 3 years since you last owned a home to be considered a first-time home buyer. So it's close to being a strictly first-time home buyer, but there are some exceptions. So in the case of this couple, one of them was a legitimate first-time home buyer, and one was still in the 3-year waiting period before they could be considered a first-time home buyer again. And they wanted to know if they bought the house together, would they be able to get that credit? The answer is yes, they'd be able to get the credit, but only under the first-time home buyer, the actual first-time home buyer's name. So there are some different ways of getting the credit and figuring out the best way to do it. And what I'm going to do is on the bottom of this page, I'm going to put some information, including the IRS form and the instructions that go with it. Now this form does include some information on the 2008 tax credit, so don't be confused by it. Some of the income numbers are different. Any questions that you have, feel free to contact me at 720-365-9550 to answer any of your questions. So if you're a first-time home buyer during this ultra-low interest rate environment, and with an $8,000 tax credit awaiting you, what are you waiting for? This is a perfect time to buy a house. A house should be looked at as a long-term investment, a long-term place for you to live, and it will accumulate as an asset over time according to historic trends. Plus, you're getting the tax credit up front, interest rates are low, and then you get a tax deduction for the mortgage interest that you pay on your taxes as well, which oftentimes knocks your tax amount down considerably. So there's a lot of reasons to be a homeowner, and there's a lot of reasons to take advantage of the $8,000 first-time homebuyer tax credit. This is Boulder Lone Ranger Uncut on the $8,000 American Recovery Act homeowners tax credit.